You feel it, right? It feels like we're living through this moment of just intense, almost overwhelming change. Everything seems like it's in turmoil. But what if I told you that all this chaos isn't random? What if it's actually part of a predictable pattern, one that's played out over and over again throughout American history? Let's dive in. We're basically caught in this massive historical squeeze. All the old, established ways of doing things, running our economy, our society, they're just not working anymore. They're breaking down. And at the exact same time, these world-changing new technologies are just starting to hit their stride. It's this moment of incredible tension, a gap between what was and what's about to be. And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? If the old world is falling apart, what's the new one we're supposed to be building? Well, the answer might just be hiding in plain sight, in a recurring cycle that has shaped this country from the very beginning. To figure out where we're going, we've got to first understand this pattern. It turns out that today's turmoil, it's not new. It's actually part of a predictable 80-year cycle of total reinvention. And it's always driven by two things: new technology and a new generation taking charge. So here's the core idea. Roughly every 80 years, which is about the length of a long human life, a whole new set of game-changing technologies finally comes of age. This forces a kind of generational changing of the guard, which always leads to a period of crisis that ultimately forces a complete reset of pretty much everything. And when you look back, this pattern is incredibly consistent. It happened with the founding of the nation in the late 1780s, then again 80 years later after the Civil War in 1865, and again 80 years after that with the post-World War II boom in 1945. Each time, it kicked off a huge era of transformation. And well, if you do the math, that puts us right on schedule for the fourth one, right now. And each one of these cycles does the same three-step dance. First, the old system, the old way of doing things, just stops working and starts to fall apart. Second, that breakdown sparks really intense political fights between people trying to hang on to the past and those trying to build the future. And third, out of all that conflict, a new way forward finally emerges, and it kicks off a 25-year boom of innovation and progress. To make this real, just think about the last time this happened, starting in 1945. After the chaos of the Great Depression and World War II, America didn't just snap back to normal. No way. It completely reinvented itself. We built the entire interstate highway system, used the GI Bill to send a whole generation to college, and basically created the modern suburbs and the middle class. This wasn't a small adjustment. It was a massive 25-year burst of energy that built a whole new America. Okay, so if the pattern holds, what are the new technologies that are forcing our reinvention today? The last cycle, that was all about mass production, the automobile, television. Our cycle is being driven by something else entirely. In fact, it's not just one big technology this time. We are living through three absolutely world-historic, game-changing technologies that are all hitting their tipping points at the exact same time. First up, the one everybody's talking about, artificial intelligence. And we have to be clear, this is not just another cool app. AI is what the entire digital revolution has been building towards. It's the moment our computers are finally starting to think, to reason, and to talk to us in our own language. To really wrap your head around how big this is, think back to the steam engine. That machine amplified our physical power, our muscle, and it launched the Industrial Revolution. Well, AI is about to do the exact same thing, but for our minds, for our intelligence. We're about to apply intelligence to literally everything, and that's going to change, well, everything. The second tipping point is clean energy. And the most important thing to understand here is that we have to stop thinking about this as just another fuel source. This is the first time in human history that our main source of energy is a technology, not a commodity that we have to dig or pump out of the ground. And because it's a technology, it does what all technology does. It gets better and cheaper every single year. We've actually already passed this huge milestone. It is now half the cost to build a new solar plant than it is to build a new coal plant. The economic argument is basically over. We are moving into a world where energy is no longer finite and polluting, but potentially infinite and clean. And the third revolution, this one might be the biggest of all. It's bioengineering, our brand new ability to design and literally engineer living things. I'm talking about everything from microbes that can create new kinds of fuel to materials that can build themselves and then just disappear when we're done with them. We're shifting from industrial production to biological production. And the speed of this revolution, it's just breathtaking. You know Moore's Law? the thing that made computers faster and cheaper and powered the entire digital age, well, the cost of sequencing a human genome has been dropping twice as fast as Moore's law. This biological revolution is going to be even faster and probably even more profound than the digital one. So, you take these three incredible revolutions in intelligence, in energy, and in biology, and what do they all have in common? What's the thread that connects them? They all point to a fundamental shift away from a world defined by scarcity and toward a world of unbelievable abundance. Let me make that more concrete for you. In the old world, a personal tutor or a personal assistant, that was a luxury for the super rich. In the new world, AI is going to give one to everybody for nearly free. In the old world, energy was this finite thing we fought wars over. Soon, it'll be a clean, cheap technology available everywhere the sun shines. We used to make things with toxic industrial chemistry. Now we can literally grow things cleanly with biology, like real meat that doesn't involve an animal. And this brings us to the most important part of all. Because these technologies, AI, clean energy, bioengineering, at the end of the day, they're just tools. The real question, the one that matters, is what kind of civilization are we going to build with these amazing new tools? This goes way beyond technology. This is about the foundation of our society itself. See, when you have these new tools of abundance, it forces you to ask some really fundamental questions. How can a 20th century economy that's built on scarcity possibly work when you have AI productivity and nearly free energy? How can our systems of democracy, designed for the speed of a town crier, possibly keep up with the speed of digital information? This technological shift doesn't just give us the opportunity to reinvent these core systems, it demands it. So I'll leave you with this final thought. We aren't just living through another crazy, chaotic news cycle. We are living at a genuine turning point in history, one of only 4 in the entire American story. Future generations are going to look back at this exact moment, at our time, the 2020s, as the period when the old world finally gave way to the new. And the only real question for us is, what are we going to build?